Hi, stay tuned to hear about my real life zany new construction real estate stories that happened here in Bend, Oregon. Hi, this is Ken Mucha, a buyer specialist with Team Bertola High Desert Realty here in beautiful Bend, Oregon. Today, I'm going to discuss and share with you 5 zany new construction stories. So let's get started. Story number 1. My client paid for an extended garage on a new construction home. The foundation was just poured, and my client went out to the house on an evening to measure the size of the extended garage. He calls me that evening after a few drinks, extremely upset as it was not extended and what he paid for. I told him I would look into it the next day to determine if it was extended since the foundation was already poured. Before I was able to call the other agent, he called back that morning apologizing that when he measured it, he used a laser tape measure that did not accurately measure the garage. When he put an actual tape measure on the size, it was the exact size and length that he paid for, so the extended garage was in place. Story number 2. This actually happened with a different client on the next night. I can't make this stuff up. This client also had several drinks in him and was extremely upset as he went out to his property that was about 80% done and noticed that all of the outside doorknobs were brass and they were not nickel plated like he paid for. I did assure him that I would look into it the next day to get an answer on why it did not have the correct exterior doorknobs, and he did went out to the property without my permission or the seller or the listing agent's permission. After talking to the other agent, apparently it ended up being that those were temporary doorknobs just for new construction, and his actual nickel plated doorknobs would be installed several weeks prior to closing. I did mention this to him. He never did apologize, and we went on forward to closing. Story number 3. This is actually the same client from story number 2. Several months into the transaction, when the house was still under construction, but the building plans were approved by the city, my client changed their mind and they decided they wanted to add a bonus room over the garage. When I presented this to the listing agent, she specifically told me, "It's too late, we cannot make any changes from this point forward." I went through and read every line of the builder's contract and could not find any clause that prevented us from making a change at this point in time. Spoke with the principal broker, made my argument and said, where does it state in the contract that we can't pay for the garage conversion over the top? A few days later, we paid for that, and they did agree to have the plans resubmitted and have a bonus room over the garage. The interesting about this is when their new contracts got revised, there was a clause in there that had a deadline when all your plans and specs and any additions need to be made. I think they called this the Mucha clause. It is fun to win some of these arguments from time to time. Story number 4. We were waiting for a house to be completed, a new construction, and it's been about 6 months, and the house should have been done in the 6-month period. My client noticed as they were building other homes that nothing was done with this house for the last 3 to 4 weeks. I explained that they don't do one house at a time, that they do build homes in separate phases. We continued to monitor the situation and noticed that she was actually very correct that nothing was happening to this house, and it was about a 2-month process. We decided to withdraw our offer and get all our earnest money back since the builder was not able to show that they can complete the house in a timely manner. Story number 5. I went with my clients on a Sunday afternoon to write an offer on a new construction property that had no other offers on it, and it was not pending. We went through all the paperwork, and after 2 hours, the listing agent said the offer would get accepted in the morning on Monday. When Monday came around, I still never heard from the listing agent until at the end of the day, around 5:30, 6 o'clock, she tells me there's a small problem that they've already accepted another offer on the property. This came to a complete shock to me, and I specifically asked the agent, can you show me proof that the other offer was accepted prior to our offer being presented and accepted? She said yes. Later, when I further read the contract, I read every line of the contract again and noticed there was an attorney clause for review and approval, and requested that they send this form to me for my client to sign. Once my client found out about this, obviously they were livid, as we were doing a 1031 exchange, had no time to go to a different property. I think they were under the impression, and they were nervous, that we were going to hire an attorney to sue, as they were not able to provide us evidence that the other property was accepted prior to ours. After several days of arguments and emails, the principal broker of this company that represented the new builder apologized and actually said our offer really was accepted prior to the other one getting accepted. It looks like between the lines, what was happening is they were trying to push us to a different property and slide in the other offer. My client was not happy with this whole transaction, but since they were doing a 1031 exchange, they were under the gun just to get this thing closed and under contract. Hi, if this is your real estate agent on the next screen, please call me today. Thanks again for watching. For more free real estate tips, simply follow me on my YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook accounts. If you have any questions regarding real estate in beautiful Bend, Oregon, my direct cell is 541-948-0494, and ask for Ken Mucha. Thanks for your time. Have an awesome day.